Hello, my name's Robert Dean Steele, and today I want to share with you a little proverb from Proverbs 4:23. And it simply says, guard your heart, for from it everything flows. Now, think about that for just a moment. Here you have an area of your life where everything you do comes from it. Jesus told us, in fact, he said, listen, our heart has a propensity towards evil. And when we guard our hearts, when we allow the Lord to have our hearts, that's where our treasure is. Jesus made it very clear. He says, wherever your heart is, that is where your treasure is. And wherever your treasure is, that is where your heart is. Here you have Solomon, 1,000 years before Jesus even quoted those words, says, listen, you need to make sure that your heart is in the right place. If you are guiding your heart, well, guess what? You're going to go towards man-made things. If you align your heart with the evil of the day, then what you're going to be promoting is the evil of the day. But if you allow the Lord to have your heart, then you're going to want to do what He wants to do. Let me give you a perfect example. Jesus Christ was an individual who wanted to do the will of his Father. And so what he did daily was he spent time with the Lord, aligning his heart, his life, and the treasure of his life to the will and plan and purpose of God. And Jesus did it really early in his life. In fact, in Luke chapter 1, we have the story of Jesus going with his family to the temple in Jerusalem when he was 12 years old. Now, what happened was he didn't return with his family. And so his mom and dad finally found him 3 days later in the temple. He was teaching the leaders of that time and also listening to what they had to say. And then when mom found out, she says, don't you know what you put us through? And Jesus simply said this. He says, where else would I be but in my Father's house doing my Father's business? As a young person, he aligned his heart with the Lord. Now, of course, when we talk about our heart, we're talking about that part of us that basically controls everything we do, our will, our intellect, and our emotions. And so that's why Solomon said, guard your heart. Make sure that your heart is in the right place. And the best place to be is, of course, allowing the Lord to have your heart. A little thought for you today. My name is Robert Dean Steele. Remember, guard your heart.